Hi again, everybody. Mike Smith here. I'm with my dear friend Chad Lewis, 6'10", 6'6". I'm just a skinny wimp, but this is 6'6", 245 triathlon Ironman. But the best part about Chad is he is a three-time All-Pro tight end in the NFL, a Super Bowl champion, and a lover of golf, like all of our fans out there and Alta View listeners and watchers.
Right there in a hole. Okay, so you described it to me a little bit earlier that you had a little bit of a tendency to block some shots out to the right. Okay, because what I'm seeing a lot of is with the ball position being back in your stance a little bit, what it does is it restricts how rotational you are in the swing. So your shoulder plane has a little bit of a tendency to be a little steep. Okay. And so that steep shoulder plane is making your arms extend to go hit the ball, and that's where that block is coming from. Okay, so the first thing we got to do is we got to get you more rotational. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, go ahead and throw the club up across your chest there. Let's do this drill here. So what's going to happen, go ahead and tilt from the hips, good. So soften the knees a little bit, give it a little bit of a quarter turn to the right. Now, as you turn to the target, I'm going to have you go square the chest up to the target and then have the right knee kick in behind it. So go ahead and turn to the target and hold right there. As you hold the finish, where is your axis now? More forward. It's more on the inside of the left foot. So the golf swing is a circle. All circles have an axis. And so when you're turning through, if your axis is on the inside of the left foot, but your ball position is back, then what angle is the club face going to be when you make contact? It's going to be open. Okay? So first things first, let's go ahead and address the ball position. Let's move the ball position more up on the inside of the left foot. Okay. This is going to help you be more rotational. Okay?
That's why I need a coach. I can't see that. So your eyes, that's perfect.
Well, that's what, and again, this is all about simplifying. Now, there's a lot of different theories out there about ball position. So some people say, well, depending on what club you have in your hands, that ball position is going to move around. In my opinion, coming from a background where I was taught by Johnny Miller growing up, and so in his book, Pure Golf, he clearly demonstrates in the book that the ball position is going to be on the inside of the left foot. And so then if you have a wedge in your hands, the right foot is narrower, but then as the club gets longer, then the right foot goes wider. Okay? And that's very similar in Ben Hogan's 500 fundamentals. Okay, so let's go ahead and just start off with getting the ball position on the inside of the left foot. That's going to make you more rotational. That's going to put the bottom of the arc down on the inside of the left foot, so the club face will actually be squaring up a lot easier. Okay, so let's go ahead and start off with that. This is a simple fundamental of ball position. Right there. Good. That way you're going to be rotational. And right there. So now notice the launch of the ball covering the flag stick now. Okay, yeah, that was easy. Okay, lesson's over. Okay, another thing. Describe to me your grip. Go ahead and show me what your grip looks like. There. So let's go ahead and hold this up like this. Some of the things that I want to kind of get a little bit of an idea of why you grip the golf club the way you grip it. Okay, so describe to me that.
If I'm going to shake hands with this golf club on both hands,
okay,
that's about how holding the club.
Okay, good. Let's do that again. We're just going to hold the club up. Now go ahead and shake hands with it. There, good, there, okay. So the leading edge here, you'll see this on this camera angle right here, the leading edge at 12 o'clock is basically a straight ball flight. Okay. So imagine in the golf swing, everything from the shoulders down serves the purpose of creating power. So how you wind up and unwind, the speed in which you wind up and unwind. Okay. From the shoulders out, this is more of a steering wheel. So if you're trying to steer the golf club here like that, notice that if you take your right hand off, notice where the left thumb is in relationship to the leading edge. Okay. Now go ahead and put the right hand on. Now where's the right thumb in relationship to the leading edge? It doesn't match. Okay, so technically that's a little weak. The right thumb is a little too much over on the left side of the club, which makes it a little weak. So go ahead and take your setup there, take your grip. Let's go ahead and put the thumb more up on top of the golf club. This finger here, I want you to try and feel like there's a little bit of pressure as that thumb and that trigger finger, they can kind of squeeze, and then what's going to happen is they're going to be able to steer the toe of the club a lot easier for you. Okay. Arm tension. Okay. How do your elbows feel right there? Good. Tilt from tilt from the hips. Good. And then what we're going to do is we're going to soften that elbow there. So now from this angle here, you can see how much more the hands are they're congruent with the angle of the club face. Okay. This is going to make it so much easier for you to say, hey, if I want to execute a draw, I'm going to feel that. So there's my baby draw right there. And then there's my baby fade, like that. When you set up also, you have a little bit of a tendency for the grip to be pointing into your belly too much. Okay. So let's go ahead and angle the shaft so it leans. So now the butt of the club is going to point to your left hip. And as you tilt, now we can go ahead and toe in that club face. So there, from that angle, with the shaft leaning forward, we want to kind of toe the club face in. So the forward lean in the shaft and the toe in counterbalances each other. Okay. Because a lot of people, if they were to lean the shaft forward, then the toe opens. Way open. So yeah, so you want to just lean it a little bit forward and toe it in. Now tilt from the hips right there. We're going to slide that ball position up just a little bit more forward so it's on the inside of that left foot. Now from right there, what are you feeling on that setup? Does it feel more stronger?
Well, I want to try and hit it and see how it feels.
Okay, good. Let's go ahead and feel that rotation now and turn left through that ball. That feels so much better now.
I felt good.
Yeah, we got to draw right into the flag stick. That's it. Really, the only things you needed to kind of make an adjustment to is just your setup. Because I'm watching these swings, the way the body works, it can only work in relationship to how you're setting up to the golf ball. If the ball's in the wrong position and your hands are at the wrong angles, then how are you going to go ahead and control where the ball goes?
Lucky.
Yeah, so you're just trying to time it. And so you're a good enough athlete, you've hit enough golf balls where you can time the hit. But the thing is, when you're describing to me, yeah, ball's going right, ball's going left, my misses are inconsistent. Right. Okay? Especially in a game like golf, you want your misses to be predictable. Right. So you go, hey, if I miss it, I'm missing it on a baby fade like Mike Smith. Okay? If I miss it, I want a baby draw it in. Okay? You want to know that your misses are going to be predictable. That's how you're going to shoot the lower scores. You have the strength and the swing where you could go out there and shoot par golf. But the thing is, if you don't have the geometry, if you don't have the angles, now you're just fighting your way out of a paper bag. That's right. So, but that swing there looked great. So, good. Yeah. And what are you feeling in these swings? Just like with that one right there, did you feel like a little bit more freedom of motion?
Yeah, it felt nice.
Okay. So freedom of motion is happening as a result of what? You being more rotational. Okay. Now you're turning more. Yeah. Now you're turning more left through the ball. Okay. So if you look back at some of the earlier swings that you made and you're flaring balls out to the right, what did your freedom of motion feel like?
A little frozen.
Yeah. So you're
turning my body.
Exactly.
Swing with my arms, not engaging my legs.
Exactly. Because number one, you couldn't be more rotational through the ball because the ball is in the wrong spot. Okay. So let's try another one. Yeah, that looks great. Okay. So we're just going to go through this checklist. When you grip the golf club, I'm going to have you get into the habit of just holding the golf club up in front of you. You see a lot of tour players in the PGA Championship holding like that. Let's turn that wrist a little bit more that way. So that's going to be technically a stronger grip for you. Okay. And then as you're doing that, this index finger, you have a little bit of an instinct where this finger used to go like that. Now we're going to bring that in a little bit closer like that. Very nice. So now the thumbs match each other. The thumbs match the leading edge. And then the shaft, as the shaft leans a little bit more to that left hip, you can go ahead and toe in that club face. Now when you tilt from the hips, ball positioned right there, perfect on the inside of the left foot. Now you're going to feel more rotation. Beautiful there. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie, it felt really good.
Beautiful there. So now you're worthy of being Mike Smith's partner there in that tournament. So
I felt good.
That's gonna be matter.
Now the dress, it didn't feel. It felt strange because I haven't been doing.
So let's use a different word than strange. Strange doesn't mean anything. Okay. It feels unfamiliar.
Unfamiliar.
Okay. And so what we want to try and do, anytime you're learning anything, you want to take what's unfamiliar to you, which is unique. Okay? Unfamiliar is just another way of just saying, yeah, this feels unique to me. Now you want to take the uniqueness of the changes that we're making, these little minor tweaks, basically is all they are, and you're going to make them more familiar to you. Okay? So what you got to do is you got to get yourself into a little bit of a routine where you're conditioning this. Yeah. Okay? So when you condition it, go and take your setup there. Okay, you're kicking back and you're just going, hey, you're watching a little bit of basketball on TV, grab a golf club, and they're going to go, okay, thumb, you're sneaking over that left side too much. Let's go ahead and turn that wrist. Yeah, there you go. Notice as that wrist rotates to the right, how much softer that right elbow goes. Okay, when that right wrist turns up and over, so go ahead and turn it up and over like what you used to do. What happened to the right elbow?
Stiff, strong.
Exactly. Yeah. And so if you look at the golf swing, is that this is a steering wheel right here. Now go ahead and hold on to it. Take your grip. Take your grip. So now the softer those elbows can go, the easier it's going to be for you to steer.
Okay.
See how that works?
Yeah.
And so you were having a really difficult time steering because you're like this.
Right.
That right thumb is a little too much over the top of the grip, and that straightens up the right elbow. Okay, now all of a sudden this is going to be a lot easier. So you're kicking back, you're watching a little basketball on TV, grab a golf club, and just sit there and just kind of, hey, I've got to recondition that grip right there. Yeah, exactly. Now you're going to go from there and you're going to tilt from the hips. Nice ball position. Does that ball position feel a little more forward to you?
Yeah, it feels good.
Excellent.
It does feel forward. But
Excellent. That's going to help you be more rotational left through the ball like that. Very good. Anytime you grab a golf club, I want you to literally just hold the golf club up in front of you because our eyes work on a horizontal plane. Okay, so right here, you're holding the golf club up and you go, okay, where are my thumbs in relationship to that leading edge?
Yeah.
See? Now, if you take your golf club and you're trying to take your grip looking down, now all of a sudden that depth perception, your eyes are looking at that, but you're looking down, and so therefore you actually don't see this 90-degree angle in the leading edge.
Yeah.
Like that. Now you can go ahead and tilt from the hips right there. And that's a very common move that I see a lot of tour players making when they take their grip. Right there and hold. Nice.
if I wanted to hit a little fade, what would I do in my grip or stance or setup?
Okay. So basically, we want to go ahead and take the grip again. And again, we're going to hold it up in front of you. Yeah, there you go. So there's your square grip with the thumb there. Now, if we want to hit a fade, obviously, what's going to be the relationship between the thumb and the leading edge? Well, the leading edge has to be a little bit more open, like that. So that's one way of doing it. Go ahead and put your right hand on, right there. So you can see that the thumbs are a little bit to the left of the club face, so the left of the leading edge. That's kind of a little bit of the feeling in your hands that you're going to have. And then the other thing, when you're turning through, go ahead and feel body rotation as you're turning through to the target, like that. What's the leading edge? So you'll see the leading edge is 1 o'clock open. Yeah. So that's what you're going to feel coming through. Okay. So let's try that feeling there. So and again, yeah, there you go. Good. Ball position, excellent right there. And you're going to see that's going to feel a little weak in the hands. And there's your little fade off to the right.
Sweet kick off the tree.
Yeah.
I like it.
Now, obviously, what we've got to do on that is we've got to make an adjustment to your alignment.
Right.
And so what we would do is we just be aiming over to the left of the flag, and then that ball would come out a little bit weaker. When are the times where you want to hit a fade on an approach shot? Well, if the pin is up in the front of the green, we want that ball coming in a little higher with a little softer baby fade to it. Okay?
Yeah, you're changing my game right now. I
Yeah.
love it.
See, and I like,
Thought process.
for me personally, I like to think of the fade as being a specialty shot. Okay? I actually like seeing the ball turn over. So like when you're executing just your stock
I love
swing,
seeing the ball turn over.
yeah, we're going to get you turning the ball over. So then that way, the reason why that little baby draw is so important to be able to execute is because the ball's turning over, so you actually have a faster ball speed. So when you get the ball rotating on a negative spin axis, that ball's moving faster through the air. So when you're hitting shots out on the golf course, you're actually you're going to be shifting the gears of like a car where you go, hey, I need this ball to go out there with a little bit of a slower ball speed so I can downshift it by having it be a positive spin axis, baby fade. If I want to speed the ball up, make it go a little bit further, get the ball turning over, now I can go ahead and have that ball move faster with that negative spin axis.
Yeah, I don't want a one gear. I don't want to be a one hit wonder. So I like knowing that I can put some different gears in the game and different approaches.
Well, good. Let's try on this swing here. Let's go back to the draw. And so, and again, holding it up right there. That's excellent right there. Tilt from the hips right there. So as that shaft leans forward, make sure you get that toe of the golf club to toe in just a little bit. That'll help that club face square up. Okay. That's the shape of the shot that I like to actually see. So that way, have you aim a little bit over to the right of the target. So let's actually hit a couple of draws. I'm going to change our cursor over here. So what we do on the TrackMan here, Chad, is that I'm actually going to change our angle. So I'm going to go ahead and let's clean the slate right here, right there. So you can see what I'm doing on the TrackMan here is just moving the target. So where it says the that 109, 110 target right in there. I'm just moving the target 110 right there. I'm just moving the TrackMan launch line to the right of the flag stick. Okay. So that way you're just, like if you're out on Riverside, you basically just say, hey, man, shot it at number 1, I'm aiming 10 feet right of the flag. Yeah. So then that way you're going to feel the ball turn over. Good right there. Again, ball position has a little tendency to sneak back into the middle of your stance. So go ahead and keep sliding over to that right side. Good, the shaft leans forward, toe in the club face a little bit, and then you feel rotational. right there and hold.
That felt so good.
Yeah, because it was correct. Look at this ball drawn to the flag stick off of that launch line. Very nice. Yeah.
That felt so good.
When the angles are correct, look how easy that is.
Yeah. That felt nice.
Yeah, that was nice.
Smooth. Came
So,
through.
and again, that's the benefit of being able to hit golf balls indoors on a simulator TrackMan. You just got to make sure that you're shifting that launch line to the right or to the left of the target based upon what kind of spin you want to put on the ball. This type of spin, when the ball turns over like this, you'll see the club face, face to path. Club path was 2 degrees positive. Perfect. Okay. A +2 path means that the golf club is being delivered from the inside into the golf ball at 2 degrees. To me, that's just perfection. Okay, the club face is closed 2 degrees. So now those two numbers are counterbalancing each other. Okay, ball launches at less than 1 degree to the right, and then look at the spin axis on that ball. A -2 is turning the ball over, so you're maximizing the ball to move faster than how you're swinging. That's why a lot of times you can swing easier but have the ball go further because of that spin axis. So that's going to take a lot of pressure off of you to feel like, man, I got to really jump on one to make it go someplace, when technically you don't. You just have to create that path and face combination to get the ball to turn over. So beautiful ball flight there. And that ball curved 7 feet to the left in ball flight. Okay, so let's address that, because that was actually a question that your text message, you said, will I come up and out of a shot?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, I don't want to hit them thin. It feels like I'm coming up and out.
Okay, so that's related to posture. Okay, that's where conditioning the engine drill is so important, because what it's doing is it's establishing what your foundation is going to be. So go ahead and throw the golf club up across your chest, throw the club head on the right shoulder, tilt from the hips, bring your feet a little tiny closer together. Good there, and then angle the left foot open. That'll help the left hip clear. Okay, so right there, tilt from the hips, good. Perfect posture right there. Now this is something, if you go to the gym, okay, you see a mirror there, okay? So just go ahead and you can grab a heavy weighted bar or a golf club, and you're gonna look in the mirror, so then that way you can see what your posture looks like, okay? What we wanna feel in your posture and in your rotation is that it's working more through your hips and your core, okay? So go ahead and soften the legs a little bit as you turn to the right. So go ahead and kind of feel that right hip go back, and you're engaging the core more. One of the things that I did kind of notice a little bit on the early swings is that you were swinging a lot with your shoulders and not rotating enough through the core. Yeah. Okay? So when you go into this backswing, I want you to just kind of feel like you're going to soften the legs, so that'll help engage the hamstrings and the glutes. Okay. Soften and turn the core. Beautiful backswing right there. You can see how engaged you got the lower body. Now go ahead and square up to the target. Go, go, go. Keep turning, and there you go, like that. So you're going to feel how you're going to maintain posture, the wind up, and the unwind. Now watch what's going to happen. I'm going to maintain that posture as I rotate on through, but then I square up to the target going into the finish.
Show me from how you were seeing me hit a couple shots with your own body, what it looked like.
Okay.
Make it look like your body.
So what was happening with the swings that I saw you make earlier is that you're very upper body, chest and shoulders oriented, dominant, okay, so to speak, okay? Now, for whatever reason, okay? Right. Now, we don't really know the reason. Chances are you probably just took a golf club and you're swinging with your chest, shoulders, arms. That's pretty typical of most people in golf, okay? Somebody, probably like as strong as you are.
A football player.
Yeah, football players, yeah. So other football players that I've worked with, kind of the same thing. Yeah. They swing a lot with their upper body. And so what was happening, when you swing with that upper body, then what happens is your chest and your shoulders are working on this angle here. They're working on a steeper plane. Okay. And so now, if I'm going steep on the backswing, now as I go steep on the forward swing, what that's going to do is that's going to make my body lengthen and stand up. Yeah. If you engage from the core and the hips, now you're rotating more level to the ground.
Way different.
Yeah, and it's kind of a little bit of an illusion. You feel like you're rotating more level to the ground, but because of the tilt of the spine, you're actually maintaining that posture. Okay? So we want to make sure that when you're conditioning your engine drills, that you're working more through the hips and the core. So as the hips and the core wind up, you can see that that just rotates my chest and shoulders basically for me. Yeah. From the shoulders out, we want to keep this more in steering mode, not in power mode. Okay, that's going to be really key for you, because your instincts are going to say, power, Chad, go hit the ball. Yeah. So try that feeling there on this next one. Holding the club up, good. Bring that index finger in a little bit closer on that right. Yeah, there you go, like that. So that way you'll feel like your hands are a little bit more condensed.
Okay.
Okay, that'll make it easier for you to steer. Good there. Yeah, lean the shaft forward and then toe in the face. Lean the shaft forward, toe in the face. Yeah, there you go, like that. Up through the core, and there you go. See, more rotational now. Yeah, right there. Good. Do that again. Good there. Go through that same routine. Good there. Yep, excellent there. Yeah, how's that motion feel there? That was
It's
nice.
feeling great.
Yeah.
It feels like I'm getting to the ball really nice, and it feels like my motion through the ball is exactly what I wanted.
Good.
You know, when I was talking to you, that's what I wanted from this session, is to be able to feel like it's coming free through that thing.
Well, and you described earlier to Mike is that you don't want to have a scroll of things. Okay, checklist. Boom, I did that. I did that. I did that. So again, what we've got to do is that we've got to kind of take you through a routine where
this is foundational for me.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Stance, alignment. If I can start with that, I'm a million miles from where I was before.
Yeah, because then from there you can go ahead and just feel, hey, all I'm going to do is just feel the wind up and the unwind from that core rotation. Yeah, that's your best one right there.
It's feeling great.
Yeah. And again, how much effort do you feel like you're putting into it?
I feel less effort.
Looks
Good.
like none.
Yeah.
That feels like none.
Yeah, and that's the whole key, because now all of a sudden the rotation of your power is more through the core, through the hips.
Yeah.
So you can almost kind of get the feeling that you're going to trigger your golf swing where that right hip goes back into the heel like that. So that's a nice little trigger to have, because then all of a sudden that releases the core releases the chest releases the shoulders. So now all of a sudden you're moving the golf club through this part of your body and not through this part of your body.
If I start grooving it with my 7-iron and feeling great, how do I translate that into my driver and feel the same confidence?
Well, basically it's just going to be the same geometry, same angles. Okay. Now the only difference
grip,
is
same everything.
yeah, exactly. Well, and again, what you're doing with the grip is that now you have an understanding that how the hands are on the golf club is going to influence how much easier it's going to be for you to steer the club face, how to steer the shape of the ball flight through the air. So it's going to be a whole lot easier for you to work with your driver now, because now all of a sudden it's like, hey, if I go to a strong grip, I want to be able to execute the draw. If I want to go to a little bit of a weaker grip, I want to execute a fade. So now again, the main difference is that with the 7-iron, the ball is on the ground, where with the driver, the ball is teed up. So this arm path that we use for our steering, we have to be able to condition that so the golf club, the club face is going to ascend up through the ball. So rather than going down into the ball with the 7-iron or your wedges or whatever, the driver now is going to be ascending through the ball to be able to flatten off that trajectory and have the ball go further. Yep, look at that same shape. How predictable. See, if you're oh, there you go.
That's a good lesson right there.
There we go.
That's
Okay.
$1 million lesson.
Good work, brother.
Oh,
I like it. Okay. Hey, yeah, when you're out at Alpine next, let me know.
When I introduced my really good friends to this, and they're really good athletes and they're really disciplined, I knew this day would come where they would get better than I was, and I'm not happy about it, unless he's my partner.
let's go.
Let's go, dude.
Boom.